she drives me wild. She drives me wild.
Had a little bit of a hiccup there. Getting ready to go here. Got a great show we're going to have lined up for you here. Got a couple of good-looking classes, some good-looking trucks and tractors back there for you. We're going to have a fun time here in Broken Bow with some truck and tractor pulling. All righty. Let's go ahead and stand for our prayer and national anthem. Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for this beautiful day we have here in Broken Bow, Nebraska. We want to also thank you for the farmers out here that provide us with the great food and nourishment that we are able to get throughout our lives, and that without them, don't know what we would do if you didn't bring us our farmers of the great U.S. We also want to thank all of our military who are out serving, protecting our great country. And of course, thank you to all those who have served and are retired and back home, living the good life and living and enjoying the freedoms they fought for. And of course, we want to ask for your blessing and protection over all of our competitors and our officials here tonight, that everything goes smoothly and safely. And of course, watch over them as they head back home afterwards. In your most precious name we pray. Amen. And now, with the singing of our national anthem, we have Stephanie sing our national anthem for us.
Oh, is it on? Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last streaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof
for Stephanie. Great job. All righty, Broken Bow, Nebraska. Are we ready for some truck and tractor pulling? All righty, we've got our first class coming up, our small block Econo Modifieds. Maximum weight is 57,000 pounds coming across the scales. We got some good-looking hot rod tractors back there for you. These tractors are kind of the predecessors to your modified tractors that you see today with the big 2, 3, 4 engine tractors on them. Our first one up is Jonathan Addington out of Oklahoma in a tractor he calls Limited Edition. It's a beautiful looking John Deere tractor. Here we go. Green light, green flags. Oh, yeah, that was a good run for him. How about 349.667? That is a great opening hook for us in our small block economods. Up next, just up the road from Long Pine, Nebraska, Dwayne Pfister in his Mean Moline. An old school Minneapolis Moline tractor. It's a Minneapolis Moline GV model he calls Mean Moline. I like the look of this. It's kind of got that old school patina look to the body of it. Dwayne Pfister, Long Pine, Nebraska. Dwayne and his family have been in the pulling business since 1999. Of course, they always bring a lot of vehicles with them to the pulls. Our track crew doing a great job getting the track back in shape here for us. Dwayne's pulling the slack out of the chain there. Looks like we got green lights on the sled, so Kyle's ready to go. Just waiting on the tractors to get off the track here to get the green flag on the big end here. And looks like we're ready. Green light, green flags. Here we go. Dwayne Pfister, Mean Moline. Had a good showing there for you. Had that front end up for that first 100 feet there, pulling off of those back tires. Can you guys hear everything okay now? 347.740 for Dwayne and his Mean Moline. That still gives Jonathan the lead for right now. Now we go over to Bridgeport, Nebraska for our next tractor, Kyle Lassetto and the Lassetto Pulling family with the tractor he calls Bowtie Binder. It's a Farmall 560. Third generation pullers here with Kyle Lassetto. It all started way back when with his grandfather Pete Lassetto, and then Greg and his brother took over and started the pulling, and now the boys are doing it. Make sure if you guys have not stopped by yet, we got the Outlaw apparel trailer down here on the east side of the grandstands. They got some great Outlaw shirts, along with the NSPA Heartland Division shirts. Got some cool toy pulling tractors there for the kids. And if you end up buying an Outlaw program, you end up getting a nice Case IH shirt for free. So if you want a free shirt, get you an Outlaw program. You got Kyle Lassetto now backing into the sled. Always got to make sure we're getting them backed in squarely to the sled. And then getting them backed in there, getting hooked up with the chain and the kill switch, which in case anything were to happen, that kill switch would kill it. Green light, green flags. Here we go. Kyle Lassetto, Bowtie Binder. Oh, yeah, really good hook there. These guys are getting a good bite out of the hole down here, so it's going to be a good night of pulling. How about 336.832 for Kyle Lassetto? Next up, Dwayne Pfister coming back out with their 1468 IH. And that is the name of the tractor, 1468 IH. This is a great pulling family from Long Pine, Nebraska. Dwayne does some of the pulling. William does some of the pulling as well. And Brian got the whole family involved. Or Byron. Did I say Brian? I meant Byron. Hey, that's my first glitch today, Tori. That's why we have you here next to me, to keep me in line of what I do wrong. It's always great when we're announcing, and you got Tori Weber helping us out down here. And again, getting this track put back together really nicely. Good starting line for these guys. Again, a beautiful 1468 IH, Dwayne Pfister. One of his favorite pulling highlights was traveling to Wilcox, Arizona for their first pull down there in Arizona. So they've been around. Not only been around pulling, but do a lot of great things for the community with their towing business and their diesel repairs that they do. Green light, green flags, Dwayne Pfister, 1468 IH. Kind of went a little side to side there for a little bit, and that kind of hurt him on the big end there. It went 316.569, 21.5 miles per hour for Dwayne on his international. Now we got Darren Priest, also out of Long Pine, Nebraska, in their Farmall Super M that they call Rudolph. This is a beautiful old school Farmall tractor for them. Speaking of Farmall, we got one of our sponsors is Case IH. Case IH isn't just built by farmers, it's sold, supported, and serviced by them too. The men and women at your local Case IH dealership understand what it takes to overcome the challenges of farming because they do it every day just like you, which means they're the right people to help you find the equipment you need. Stop by and meet our farmers today or visit builtbyfarmers.com to learn more. Case IH. This beautiful Farmall M. Darren Priest, Long Pine, Nebraska. Now, if you watch throughout the course of the afternoon here, these drivers do have the ability to tell the sled operator when he's coming back where they want to place the sled. They can place it anywhere within those boundary lines from left to right because they may think, hey, that puller in front of me had a good shot. Maybe I can do a little bit better. Or they can think, well, maybe that wasn't the right line. Let's go to a different area on the track. So these guys do study this track. Here we go. Green light, green flags. Darren Priest, Rudolph. $325.541 for Darren Priest and Rudolph. That was a good run for him. Now we go to their stablemate, David Priest, also out of Long Pine, Nebraska, in a 1968 Ford tractor they call Little Ford with a Heartbeat. And, of course, without any sponsors, we couldn't put this fair on. Anderson Auto, Trotter Fertilizer, AG Land ATV, Clark Dispatch, Power Solutions, Rocks Underground, Mount Custer Transportation, Adams Land and Cattle. Just some of your sponsors here helping to put on the pool for you today. there you see Dwayne helping them get back in as well. Again, these competitors, they will help everybody back in the pit area to make sure that they can come out here and compete. Because they do not want to see anybody not be able to compete. They rather beat them out here on the track than in the pits. Again, that all important of making sure you're getting back in there squarely with the sled. Getting the pull chain put on there, getting the safety switch put on there. Just one of the many safety innovations we have on truck and tractor pulling. Here we go, green light, green flags. $335.799 for Dave Priest with a little Ford with a heartbeat. Holgenics Midwest, replenish soil health and yield will follow. Holgenics Midwest will help you get through with Bio 800 Plus. Healthy soil is the foundation for productive, sustainable agriculture. Managing for soil health allows producers to work with the land, not against it, to reduce erosion, maximize water filtration, improve nutrition cycling, and saving money on inputs, ultimately improving the resiliency of their working land. Learn more at holgenicsmidwest.com. So we've still got Jonathan Addington as your leader, 349.667. Closest one so far was Dwayne Pfister at 347.740. We got Bob Pomer out of Grand Island, Nebraska, in a Farm All tractor that he calls Farm All M. Been pulling for 18 years, since he was 18 years old. So he's got some history. Get him all hooked up, get his neck brace on, and pull the slack out of the chain on the sled. Green light, green flags. Bob Pomer, Farm All M. I took a little bit of a different approach by coming out of the hole a little bit slower, waiting to call on it. Went 318.878. Still had a decent run out of the hole there. Schaefer's Oil is one of our sponsors. Your engine's performance is always what matters most. We believe what you put in your engine matters. It impacts the profitability of your business. Using advanced additives, Schaefer synthetic oils provide strong engine durability and fuel economy benefits, allowing you to maximize your equipment's performance and return on investment. Our oils deliver results you can depend on, more productivity while reducing cost and downtime. See for yourself what others already know. Everything runs smoothly and goes further with Schaefer Specialized Lubricants. Learn more at schaeferoil.com. Up next, we got William Pfister out of Long Pine, Nebraska, in a tractor they call One Piece at a Time. It's an old Cockshot 50 tractor. Had to kind of do a little bit of my own research on this brand of tractor, and was actually kind of a Canadian brand tractor. And then they blended into here in the United States, and eventually they got bought out by AGCO. So they are an AGCO tractor company now. But a beautiful old Cockshot 50. And I think if I remember, it's got a Ford engine in it. A unique combination there. But this is William, one of the kids doing the driving. Green light, green flags. Here we go. William Pfister, One Piece at a Time. Tried a different strategy and came down on the left side of the track here. 320.092 is the distance for William. So again, we still got Jonathan Addington out there as your leader, 349.667. Our last tractor up in the small block class is Bob Pomer, again out of Grand Island, Nebraska, in a tractor he calls Little Red. Frosted Frog Coolers keeps you chill in any situation. At Frosted Frog, we specialize in keeping things chill no matter the setting. Whether scaling rugged mountains, lounging on sunny beaches, or simply looking for the perfect companion to carry your morning coffee to work, our product line ensures you to do with the unmatched style and efficiency. Our lineup of insulated coolers and tumblers were designed not just for any ordinary outing. They're crafted from the highest quality metals to ensure your food and drinks stay cold and refreshing for hours. From sleek insulated cups with lids perfect for your daily commute to robust coolers that can handle the wilds of nature, Frosted Frog is committed to enhancing your outdoor and everyday beverage experience. Find out more at frostedfrog.com. And you can also go down to the Outlaw trailer there. They've got some of the Frosted Frog products there to check it out for yourself. In fact, I just picked up this nice Frosted Frog water can down there. Our last small block modified, Bob Pomer, Little Red, from Grand Island, Nebraska. He's all hooked up. Green lights, green flags. Here we go. Little Red. $317.310 for Bob Pomer. So Jonathan Addington is going to be your winner of the small block modifieds here this afternoon. Weifels Hybrids, a U.S. family farm-owned company, has partnered with the Outlaws this season, bringing 75 years of tradition and independence in the seed business. Weifel Hybrids began in 1946 in Atchison, Illinois, focusing solely and intensely on corn. The result is a level of performance uncommon in the seed business. Always exploring ways to improve productivity, the Weifel family was soon led by a single-minded vision to produce higher-performing seed for their neighbors and friends, a vision that launched their seed business in 1946 and still guides today. Since that time, Weifel Hybrid has been relentlessly focused on one thing and one thing only, delivering top-performing corn products that yield better for farmers all across the Corn Belt. To find out more, check them out at weifels.com. So we're going to do a little track maintenance here. Work on the starting line a little bit, and then they're going to do a flyby with some water, get a little bit moisture on this track. So we got our big block Econo modifieds coming up next. These guys cannot exceed 470 cubic inches on their motors, whereas like your small blocks, they could not exceed 410 cubic inches. Only a V8 cast production automotive engine block built by the original manufacturer Loud. And you can run either GM, Chrysler, or a Ford motor if you want. Got one tractor back there that I have not seen in a couple of years. Brought it out to come and run it today. The Millers from just down the road in Maxwell. Titan Goodyear Farm Tires. Farmers have a legacy built on hard work and a spirit of innovation. It's the same vision that's driven Titan to engineer farm tires for almost a century. Agricultural products in our Titan and Goodyear farm tire brands start with feedback that comes directly from the field. It's how we develop the innovative low sidewall technology that's redefining expectations for agricultural tires around the world. Offering a full lineup of agricultural tires for a variety of equipment types, including tractors, combines, grain carts, and sprayers. For more information, visit them at TitanInternational.com. has when doing an afternoon pull is trying to make sure we keep some moisture in this track for these guys. Because a dry track usually doesn't really help these guys. In any form of motorsports, obviously you want to be able to get the horsepower to the ground, and in the sport of truck and tractor pulling, it's no different. I think horsepower to the ground is more prominent in this sport. It's because you're dragging about 33,000 pounds behind you. And of course, as we go into our different classes in that, we'll be making some sled adjustments and adding some weight, and we'll talk about that as we go throughout the afternoon. Kyle, our sled guy, does a great job at determining on how to set the sled up for each and every class that we have. So here we go. Our big block modifieds, kind of mods. Colby Lassetto. Again, another one of the Lassetto boys out of Bridgeport, Nebraska. In their John Deere 7420 that they call Stepchild. Most of their tractors that they have are in the area of a red tractor. This is about the only green tractor they have. They also have a light limited super stock tractor that back in Albion, Nebraska, they had a wheel come off of it. So they're working on getting that one done. They also have a turbine power tractor that they usually campaign, but they're waiting on the engine to get rebuilt. But they brought 3 of their other tractors that they have. One of the great pulling families that we have with us. I've known Greg Lassetto for several years from pulling and helping out in the organization and with some of the teams. And now seeing the kids out here now having fun. There we go. How about 343.732 for Colby Lassetto? Came out of that starting line, and that front end went sky high. Probably should have put some weight on the nose. Did we drop that or no? He said he's keeping it. So in sport of truck and tractor pulling, in every class, the first puller has the decision to either keep their hook or drop their hook. If they feel they can come back around and do it a little bit better, they can drop it. And that's the only one that has that discretion after he's made a complete run. And they're going to go ahead and keep their distance of 343. But every puller has up to the 100-foot mark where Terry Weber is standing as our starting flagman today. They have the choice that if they don't feel like their start is what they're looking for, they're not getting the grip or the bite that they feel they want to get, they can get out of the throttle and slow up and make that attempt to slow down before that 100-foot mark. And then they can get dragged back and restart their hook again. Maybe they didn't come up on the RPMs correctly, or something just didn't feel right for them, and they can redo that. But now we go to Brian Miller, North Platte, Nebraska, just down the road in Roaring Red. Brian's a second generation puller. His dad, Ivan Miller, campaigned this tractor for many, many years. One of the Red family of tractors. I believe this is a McCormick that they have. Green light, green flags. Here we go. So Colby Lassetto ended up going 343.732. Brian Miller, 343.394. Just a little bit short. That game of inches is going to come into play here, it looks like. Very good close competition. Up next, the stablemate to this tractor, Ivan Miller, in a tractor they call Corvette. It's a really nice looking big block modified tractor. It's sitting on a chassis that you would kind of see now as what a lot of your tractor classes are. So like we said, these are kind of your predecessors to the modified tractors that you normally see with either the turbines, the Allisons, the 2, 3, 4 motors on them. But here comes a beautiful orange Corvette. Like I said, this is the first time I've seen this tractor in many, many years. It's good to see Ivan bring it back out. Because like we said, they're just down the road there in Maxwell, Nebraska. Oh. Got to hit the wick again, get it refired up here. There we go. Again, great communication between our hooker back there and the guider back there, making sure getting him again straight away back in there on that sled. So he's got to be somewhere within the 343 mark. Right now, it's a little tight squeeze there. Let's see what Ivan can do. $336.371 for Ivan Miller and Corvette. So Colby Lassetto and Stepchild ends up winning the class. Alrighty, so we had some tractors. Now let's bring up one of our pickup classes now. And it looks like I see that they're back there going to add a weight. Looks like to the sled. So the sled during those first two classes, it weighs 33,000 pounds, and then it had a 1,500-pound weight inside the box. Now, I can't exactly see if they're adding that other 1,500-pound or if they're adding a 2,000-pound block in there. But we're going to add a little bit more weight. And then also Kyle has the ability to be able to change a couple other things back there. That was a good run though. Oh yeah, felt good. I don't know if you noticed that, but Brian Miller came down here wanting to see his distance, and he couldn't believe it was that close of a distance. But that was a good run for him, though. So as we were talking about, not only can you add weight on the sleds, but Kyle has two other adjustments that he can do on these sleds, depending on the classes in that. He can change the speed of the gearbox that drives the weight box up on the rails there. He can either slow it down or speed it up depending on what classes we have. And then there's also a trip mechanism on towards the front of the sled that he can adjust that allows that pan to get pushed down on there, so that way all that weight is on that skid plate or the pan. And underneath that pan, they have what's called grouser bars underneath it, so that kind of helps angle it, helps dig into the dirt and helps to try to slow them down a little bit too. But so we've got our Pro Stock 4x4 trucks, our gas guzzling trucks. We've got, technically we had 5 sign up, but one we just heard broke, so they're not going to make it. So we still got 4 very good trucks for you. I mean, if you're new to the sport of truck and tractor pulling or have been around for a few years, some of the history on this thing, the sleds back in the early days, it actually got started with the dead pulls, where they would put like big old concrete blocks on a sled, and they would have the tractors would hook up to it and see how long it would take them to actually move it an inch. Seeing some of the videos, they still do it today in some of the county fairs and that throughout the United States. But to see how they do that, I mean, it takes a lot of thinking, a lot of horsepower to be able to do that. And of course, you used to have the horses used to do that. And then of course they went to the draft pulls and stuff like that. Then the farmers decided, well, let's get something a little bit better for our trucks. So they started doing their trucks and had some sort of a sled or a weight transfer device. Back in the old day, you used to have a lot of the big burly guys would stand out on the track, and as it would pass by, they would step on the sled, and that's how you would end up getting your weight progressively getting harder and harder on these vehicles. Then they ended up coming up with what you kind of see now, these weight transfer machines or pulling sleds, to where the weight would transfer from the back of the sled to the front of the sled. And then back the first ones, they used to be tractor powered. So after each pull, they would get a tractor that would pull it back to the starting line. And now you have these self-propelled ones, which you can basically take them pretty much anywhere in that kind of helps speeds the shows up a little bit. This one here is built by the Bauer company, Von Bauer, out of Paxton, Illinois. They're synonymous with the sport of truck and tractor pulling with the Ironman sleds that you may see if you're a follower of truck and tractor pulling all across the Midwest in that. And this is one of the Bauer built ones. And the original name of this the sled is actually what you see on there, the vintage green. But here we go, our Pro Stock 4x4 class. Out of Brush, Colorado, Greg Dardanis in a 1966 GMC that he calls the Hog. He owns Dardanis Tree Service down in Brush, so he's climbing trees on a daily basis. He's one of the good guys of this sport. He's fun to talk to, and he's one of the ones that have kind of worked on this truck, and he's a past points champion with the NSPA. He's struggling a little bit this year with this truck, but nonetheless, he still comes out and has fun. Here we go. Greg Dardanis and the Hog. Oh, yeah, good run there for Greg. 296.875. Let's see if he keeps that hook or not. He is going to go ahead and keep that hook, so we are set. So that is the distance to beat. 296.875. So we kind of have a little bit of a high plains war. We got Colorado drivers, and we got our next one out of Oklahoma. So we got, now we know this is Nebraska, so we know about football, college football and that. So we're kind of going to go back to the old Big 12 days of Oklahoma, Colorado football battles. So we're going to settle out here on the pulling track, Colorado and Oklahoma, because our next truck, Garrett Addington, out of Kniff, Oklahoma, in a truck he calls Sledgehammer. Beautiful looking old school truck. I was walking the pits over today and I saw this truck back there and I'm like, oh. First time out here for this truck that I've seen out in this area. But I have seen it pull with the Texas Truck and Tractor Pullers organization, with the Outlaws when they're down in that area around Oklahoma and Texas. But here comes the Sledgehammer. A 1936 Chevy body. Got that Chevy power plant tucked underneath the bodywork there. He's been pulling since 2021. Owns a construction company down there in Oklahoma. Let's see what the driver from Oklahoma can do against these Colorado guys. Chain is tight. Green light on the sled. Green flags. Here we go. Garrett Addington, Kniff, Oklahoma. What do you say? Do you think Oklahoma's going to set the mark here for these Colorado guys? How about 322.462 for Garrett? That is the distance to beat. But these next two trucks out of Colorado will have something to say about that. These are your top two in the points for NSPA Heartland in the west side. First up, you have Mike Franklin out of Greeley, Colorado, in a 1978 Chevrolet 3500 he calls Misbehavin'. Mike has been around pulling for many, many years. He's had a truck that he used to call Sled Dragon that I remember as a kid. He used to own a truck that the Lays now own for years. He's competed in both pro stock four-wheel drives and modified four-wheel drives. So he knows a little bit about truck and tractor pulling. He's a past champion of the Colorado Truck and Tractor Pullers Association, as well as the Puller of the Year. Past champion with the NSPA as well, so he's got some credentials. Misbehavin'. A lime green looking truck here. This truck used to be owned by Bill Muncie. And then when Bill got out of the sport, Mike Franklin picked it up, and this has been Mike's workhorse. Mike's usually campaigning 2 trucks with us. His other truck is sitting in his shop waiting on parts right now. So he says that truck will be ready to go for next year. Just girls back. Mike is one of the great guys to go back there and bench pull with and talk with about the sport. And here we go. Green light, green flags. Mike Franklin misbehaving. .667 for Mike Franklin. So far, Garrett still holds on the lead at 322. Steffes Auctions, your local auction expert since 1960. If you're planning to sell land, real estate, excess equipment, or other assets, book your 2025 auction with your local auction experts, the Steffes Group. Find out how at their website, steffesgroup.com. Also, if you guys have any farm tractors, go on over to the beer garden and get signed up, because after we're done with our pool today, farm tractors, you guys get a chance to play in the dirt tonight. So you farm stock tractor guys, you get a chance to hook to our sled. All right, we got our last 4x4 truck coming up. Greeley, Colorado as well. John Kuntz and the Dude. A beautiful Dodge Power Wagon truck. 1971. John has started out this truck in the modified gas class and worked on it and built it up, and has now have this nice looking truck here. A contender anywhere he goes. He's one of those guys that as soon as you see him pulling in, you're like, oh, that's who we got to beat. Him and Mike Franklin have been kind of trading that #1 spot all year long. So it's a really close battle in points between those two guys. Colorado's last shot to knock off this Oklahoma truck. Let's see what John can do. Green lights. Green flags. Here we go. John Kuntz and the Dude. 300.576 is the distance for John Kuntz. So it looks like the Oklahoma boy, Garrett Annington's going to go ahead and take that win today. Followed by Mike Franklin, John Kuntz, and Greg Gardanas. So we've got a little bit of an intermission here. It looks like we got some kids doing the little pedal pulling here.
Hey everybody, if you got some kids here and you want to come down and do a little kiddie
Our 3200 Superfield tractors have to be no more than 3,200 RPMs. The maximum weight when they come across the scales is 8,200 pounds. We got two good-looking tractors in this class. First one up is Mark Reardon out of St. Edward, Nebraska, in a tractor he calls Rum Runner. It's an International 1066 tractor. He's been pulling for a couple of years now. And then you also have Lauren Hotzen in this class from Minotaur, Nebraska. So a couple Nebraska guys, a couple of red tractors in this class. One of our great many tractor classes that we have. And I see we've got all of our naturally aspirated two-wheel drives back there getting ready to go. But here comes Mark out with his tractor. Again, it's an International 1066. This is one of my favorite series that International has put out, their 66 series, either the 1066 or the 966. Now let's see if these guys end up pulling the front nose up in the air like the Economods were doing. Get Mark back into the sled, get the pull chain hooked up, get the kill switch hooked up. And then, of course, they have to hook up the RPM box to these tractors because they do have to stay under 3,200 RPMs. Green light on the sled. Green flags. Here we go. Mark Reardon, Rum Runner. That was a really good run for Mark there. 333.271. And he is going to go ahead and keep that hook. So that is what Lauren has to deal with. So we got next out of Minturn, Nebraska, Lauren Hotzen in a tractor he calls a little bit red. It's a 1973 1066 Case IH. He's been pulling since 1967. He was the past champion the last 3 years in this class in the Heartland series before NSPA and Heartland merged. A battle of the international tractors here. Here we go. Lauren Holtzen, a little bit red. Minturn, Nebraska. .178 for Lauren. So it looks like Mark is going to get that with his Rum Runner tractor at 333.271. AP1 Insurance, excited to be the sponsor of the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association. They offer specialty insurance products from motorsports, auto, grain insurance, and prize packages. They pride themselves on offering the best resources for their clients throughout the Midwest to guard their investment employees. With the ever-changing market, AP1 can help you find the best product for your needs. Call and talk to one of their advisors today or visit agprotect1.com for more information. Stop Fire is an official fire extinguisher of the Outlaws. Stop Fire is a proprietary brand of liquefied fire suppressant gases that not only puts out the fire but also prevents reignition with zero mess. Stop Fire extinguishers are 100% guaranteed and made right here in North America. To get your hands on the world's best fire extinguishers, go online to ake.com. Alrighty, our naturally aspirated two-wheel drives. Again, download the Outlaw app on your smartphone. You can follow along with this, get the lineups as you see it. In fact, I'm pulling up my lineup right now for this class. We got 5 good trucks here. Every single one of these trucks are all family members. So it's a family also fighting it out here for bragging rights. First one up is Casey Hohensee, Bennett, Nebraska, in a truck they call the Farmer's Daughter. Now you have a couple of different tires in these classes. They could run a smaller tire, kind of something similar to what the four-wheel drives have, the modified four-wheel drives have on theirs. Or you can run what normally you would see on a two-wheel drive pulling vehicle. Also something similar to what the mini rod tractors would normally pull on. Weigh anywhere from 6,200 pounds to 6,500 pounds, depending on what you've got as far as the tires. And of course, these are your naturally aspirated burners. Unlike most of your two-wheel drives that you see pulling throughout the nation that have the blowing supercharged engines on it. These ones are a little bit similar to the Pro Stock four-wheel drives you saw in the Economods. So that style of engine. Maximum of 540 cubic inches. Good run at the end there. 298.922. 23.8 miles per hour. And she's going to go ahead and drop that hook, so they'll come back around if they feel they can do a better job. Again, that's the hook in every class has is the option to drop their hook and come back around. Up next, we go to Loy Woolman, North Bend, Nebraska, in a truck he calls the Mean Farmer. It's a 1954 Ford. They've been pulling since the 90s. And he has listed as his early pulling influences were the old Moline tractors. This beautiful yellow truck, old school truck, 54 Ford. This one is more kind of a setup of like what you would see in the super modified two-wheel drive trucks. But again, they're running a naturally aspirated 540 cubic inch motor in these things. And I'm sure by running a naturally aspirated two-wheel drive versus a super modified two-wheel drive, I'm sure the expenses are a little bit less to maintain these vehicles. As you saw, he got back in there, wasn't quite lined up straight, so they pulled him out and going to try it again. It's always important to make sure that the vehicle and the sled are in line with each other when they get that pull chain hooked up. Having it off by any bit can actually hurt the competitor because of trying to get that thing straightened out. Green light, green flags. Here we go. Loy Woolman, Mean Farmer. Yeah, that was a good run. That is so far our biggest pull tonight at 363.054 feet for Loy Woolman. So up next is Josh, Loy's son-in-law, in a truck he calls the Mean Farmer. It's an old school Ford truck for you. Looks like you got Dalton up there throwing out some frisbees there. Don't forget to check them out down here at the Aero trailer. Get you some Outlaw souvenirs, NSPA Outlaw shirts. They even got some good pulling tractors and sleds down there for the kids for the 164 scale and 124 scale. late 60s, early 70s style Ford pickup truck here. Josh Hohensee, Farmer's Nightmare. Green light, green flags, here we go. .591 for Josh there. That right now is good enough for second place. Get Josh unhooked up here, and he's going to hustle it back around because he's got to hop into the next vehicle. Next vehicle they call Thunderstruck. Sounds like we need to play a little AC/DC on this particular track, on this truck. Doing a little Thunderstruck. VP Racing Fuels is a spec fuel of the Outlaws. Every Outlaw pulling vehicle competing on the Outlaw circuit is fueled by VP Racing Fuels for maximum power and reliability. From the Torque DX diesel fuel to the Q16 Max Octane Racing gasoline, VP Racing Fuels are dyno tested and puller proven to deliver unmatched power and performance to dominate the track. VP also has additives created to maximize the performance of your daily driver as well as your small engine and outdoor power equipment. To find out more, check them out at vpracingfuels.com. Off-road belts. Belts to power your everything from your vacuum to your oil rig, from your riding mower to your combine. Off-road belts has your belt in stock and ready to be shipped to your door. Check them out at offroadbelts.com. Pro Pulling Tires, designed and manufactured specifically for a sport of tractor pulling. Power means nothing without traction. Check them out at propullertires.com. And Josh back there has Thunderstruck fired up. And here he comes. Look at this beautiful looking Ford truck here. Blue and orange, and as you see, they've got the small tire set up, but similar to something you would see on a modified four-wheel drive truck. A little bit shorter wheelbase too than what you saw in his father-in-law's truck. That was a little bit longer wheelbase. Again, this is Josh Hohensee, Bennett, Nebraska. 306.035 for Josh and Thunderstruck. Now we got Allie Warman coming up in Mama's Nightmare, North Bend, Nebraska. Allie also has an old school body on her truck. 1930-ish, early 40-ish style truck. Northwood Heads. Know your pulling machine is more than just a hobby that gets you from point A to point B. It's your freedom. It's your lifestyle. It's your passion. That passion deserves the best, and Northwoods provides that. When you're bringing your business to Northwoods, we make sure your parts leave trouble-free so you can have your freedom and your peace of mind. From OEM, recast, and billet heads for diesel, spark, tractor, or truck, utilizing a 5-axis CNC porting technology, check them out at northwoodsengineering.com. Mama's Nightmare. Again, going with the super modified style setup here, the big tires on the back. Met these guys for the first time up in over in Albion. A great pulling family there. Allie's got the driving duties on this truck. .363 is what she's got to beat, set by her husband, Loy. Let's see if she can do it. Ladies, cheer her on. The only woman out here pulling today. Green light, green flags. Here we go. Oh, I think she had something to say. And I lied because Casey's actually out here too. So there's actually two of the ladies out here. So Loy, who her husband is, went 363.054. Allie went 362.800. So now Casey's coming back. So she thought she can do better with her pull, so she's going to come back out and see. She went 298.922 on her initial hook. So now she's got to sit there and be out there with mom and pops to try to get out there at 360 and something. Liquid Tube Total Tire Protection is the premium flat tire prevention that you can trust to prevent flats, reduce downtime, and extend tire life. Why let flat tires slow you down? Treat your tires with Liquid Tube to protect them from rim and bead leaks and prevent flats for the life of the tire. When you must depend on your tires, depend on Liquid Tube, the original liquid inner tube. Liquid Tube Tire Total Protection, now available at Napa Auto Parts, Fleet Farm, and Bass Pro Shops. For more information, go to liquidtube.com. So here comes Casey back. She felt she can do a little bit better. Again, I misspoke when I said Allie was the only female out here, but Casey's out here too. So 2 shots to try to win this class. Allie came up just a little bit short. Let's see if Casey can do it. .054 is the distance to beat. Green light, green flags. Here we go. The farmer's daughter. .297.196. So it's actually a little bit shorter than her first run. But your winner in the naturally aspirated two-wheel drives, Loy Woman and Mean Farmer, 363.054. Up next, we have our light limited super stock tractors. 6,500 pounds if you're a diesel tractor, which these two are. And agricultural chassis only, cannot run any component tractors in this class. And the chassis must conform to the engine being used. So that means if you got a John Deere, you're using a John Deere motor. If you've got an International, you're using an International engine. Our first tractor out is out of Cheyenne, Wyoming. Dan Christensen in a tractor he calls the Wanted. This tractor actually has some pedigree to it. It used to be owned by Gary Whiff out of Frankfort, South Dakota. And they used to call it campaign it out in the NTPA circuit. Has won the NTPA points championship in the class for 7 times. And they have a thing at the end of the year called their Interleague pull-offs, which this tractor has won it 2 times. And now you have Dan Christensen who's owning it and campaigning it. And again, it used to be owned by Gary Whiff out of Frankfort, South Dakota, and it used to be called Deer Fever. Now it's called the Wanted. Dan's a tow truck operator by trade. Owns a towing company and operates a towing fleet. And beautiful John Deere tractor here. He's got Dwayne Pfister there helping him get back in there. I'm good, thank you. So Dan Christensen, the only one in our class here in the light limited super stock, so he's going to put on a show for you. He is known to get that nose up there in the air. was a good run for Dan. Two-time Outlaw champion in the Heartland division as well as a champion in the NSPA. 341.597 for Dan Christensen. That was a great run for Dan. Since he's the only puller in this class, I wonder if he's going to keep that hook or not. And obviously he kind of has no choice to keep that hook. Light limited pro stock tractors are next. One of my favorite classes here. £8,500 these tractors have to weigh when they come across the scales. They are limited to one turbocharger on their tractors. Has to be any 3x4 smooth bore turbo tractor. Meister Repair. From the field to the pulling track, all your ag repair needs, engine building and dyno tuning, check them out, Meister Repair. For quality workmanship you can count on, meisterrepair.com. And Hart's Diesel, one of the turbo guys. More horsepower and reliability to get that extra inch by way of our fuel injection pumps, turbochargers, and injectors. The folks at Hart Diesel are able to provide customers with the tools needed to perform at the highest level. Check them out at hartsdiesel.com. And of course, we're adding some weight back there. I can see. Looks like one of the 2,000-pound blocks they're putting in there. So this class we got coming up, we've got your classic battle of red versus green. We got one John Deere in this class. The rest are a red brand, either McCormick or International. So let me hear. Where's my John Deere fans at? John Deere fans, where are you at? How about you Case International fans? Where are you at? All righty. So make sure when your brand comes up, you're cheering them on. Because we got, like you said, we got that classic red-green battle going on. Extreme Performance and Tire Cutting. Your direct dealer for Kaiser aluminum wheels. Ready to leave the competition spinning? Extreme Performance has a proven track record of helping pullers gain the edge on the competition with precision tire cutting from custom tire sharpening to Kaiser aluminum wheels. Extreme Performance delivers the bite you need to win. Visit extremeperformancepulling.com to learn more. Here we go, our light limited pro stock class, the first tractor out from Scottsbluff, Nebraska, Jim Darnell in Crazy Horse. Normally the Darnells from the JD Farms pulling team usually campaigns 2 tractors. Last year they started out with this tractor because their first tractor, Red Rider, was in the shop. And then when they got Red Rider back from the shop, they had to turn around and take this tractor back because that tractor broke. So then they started out this year with Red Rider while this one was getting repaired. And they just got this tractor back a couple weeks ago, and Red Rider ended up blowing a turbo. So they had to take it back to the shop to get it repaired. So now they're back down to the 1 tractor again. Jim's been pulling for a few years now. They used to pull in the farm stock class. Yeah, great run by Jim Darnell. Well, there goes our longest pull of the night or the afternoon. How about 374.780 for Jim Darnell and Crazy Horse. That was a great run for Jim. Oh, I was just going to say I didn't see the boss down there, but I saw there's Colleen down there at the end. She was filming. And Jim's going to go ahead and keep that hook so we're set. Are you a Case IH super fan? Show us and win big. There's your chance to own the perfect partner for home or farm chores. The rugged and reliable Farmall 25 SC tractor plus $4,000 code hard cash. Case IH has teamed up with the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pullers to reward one lucky super fan with this new innovation in compact tractors from Case IH, the Farmall 25 SC. Getting entered it is easy. Scan the QR code on one of the event posters or go online and fill it out at outlawpulling.com for your chance to win. All right, John Deere fans, here's your shot at this. Jay Schilling out of McCook, Nebraska in a 4010 John Deere that he calls License to Till. John Deere's only shot at all these red tractors. Saw this tractor for the first time this year out in Sterling with us. It's a great running tractor. I love when we get to see some of the newer guys coming out with this merger between NSPA and Heartland. Not only do we get some good tractors coming out to us from Nebraska to Colorado. Here we go, License to Till, Jay Schilling, McCook, Nebraska. John Deere fans. Do you think he got it? How about 382.723 for the John Deere license to till? Now the international guys have got to go out there after that deer. First one up, we got Zach Lassetto, Bridgeport, Nebraska. The horse with no name, a McCormick MXT 155. Again, third generation pullers out of Bridgeport, Nebraska. Registrations are still open for the exhibition pulling at the end here. Go over to the beer garden and get signed up. Here we go, Zach Lassetto, the horse with no name. Again, Bridgeport, Nebraska. One of the great families in the sport here, trucker tractor pulling in the area. Of course, the Slettos were one of the original founders of the Heartland Pulling Series. And then just this year, last year, they ended up getting the regional sanctioning from the Outlaws. Because the Outlaws want to do a little bit more of kind of regional stuff to help get some more exposure out for trucker tractor pulling in the area. And then just this last year, they contacted NSPA and said, will you guys come help and take care of this? So now you've got two great organizations into one. Actually, three great organizations, Heartland, NSPA, and Outlaws, all in one here in the region. Here we go, Zach Lassetto, green light, green flags, Bridgeport, Nebraska. .295 is the distance for Zach Lassetto. 285, sorry. 29.0 miles per hour. Our last tractor in this class is out of Imperial, Nebraska, Dirk Bowerly, in a tractor he calls the High Dollar Hooker. It's a 966 Case IH. Him and Don have been involved with pulling for many, many years. And I used to do our radio-controlled truck and tractor pulling down in Colorado, and I have a RC replica of this tractor specifically built for RC truck and tractor pulling. And I messaged Dirk and I said, hey Dirk, I said, can I build an RC replica of your tractor? And he said, sure. So I guess I can also give Dirk a little credit because he actually is a points champion in the RC truck and tractor pulling down in Colorado. Because we did win the championship one year for that, so. But Dirk is another one of those great pullers from right here in the state of Nebraska. got to know him and Don quite well as I kind of helped them out a couple of times when they come out to Colorado. And first time I saw this tractor was at the Colorado State Fair at a Colorado Truck and Tractor Pulling event, and I'm like, ooh, that's a nice tractor. So here we go. Green light, green flags. Dirk Bowerly, the high dollar hooker, Imperial, Nebraska. Three 47.072, 27.6 miles per hour for Dirk Bowerly and high dollar hooker. So that means license to till your John Deere tractor of Jay Schilling took the win here today. 382.723, the winning distance. No matter where you're headed, a weekend barbecue, a fishing trip, a tailgate party, or a beach day, Frosted Frog's custom beverage coolers are here to make sure your ones stay cold and your adventure stays cool. Built from the bold, offering more than just icy storage, our coolers are fully customizable, designed to stand out and make a statement. Bring your personal flair to bear on your own custom beverage cooler from Frosted Frog. Your cooler, your way. Make your cooler uniquely yours with your build your own cooler option. You can find out more at frostedfrog.com. And if you want to check them out, also go down to the merchandise trailer there. And they've got the Frosted Frog coolers. They also got some nice water jugs. I got mine here today. So check them out. So now we got Dawson Addington from Atoka, Oklahoma. Brought out his turbine-powered tractor that he calls the Joker. One of the unique pulling engines you find on a modified tractor. A single turbine engine on this tractor. Sometimes you end up seeing them with the Allison aircraft engines on it. You've got a couple of guys that I know that have like a turbo-powered diesel-style engine on it. And, of course, you're always used to the good old supercharged dragster-style engines on them. All righty, so we're just getting the word over the radio that the Joker tractor broke their starter shaft, so they're not going to be able to make the hook. So that is going to complete our NSPA Heartland show for the day. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the pulling. We still got some pulling action for you. We got the local antique tractors and that guys going to come out and do their hooking. So we'll get them in staging and that. But hopefully you enjoyed it. And again, you can catch us on our live streams from the rest of the year out. And even next year, fullpull.live. And then, of course, download the Outlaw app to follow along.